The difference between the Eagles and the Cowboys? Eagles find ways to win. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, Dingbat here, and welcome to the Victory Celebration Room, better known as my garage, where we come out to smoke a stogie every time the Philadelphia Eagles win, which hasn't been in 3 weeks. Now, we can't smoke the cigar in the house, because if we do, the wife will double moonwalk my ass, and you'll find me in a gutter somewhere, laying in my own blood and urine. So we come out here, we smoke a cigar, and this is a special occasion tonight, because not only is it just an Eagles victory, it's also Christmas. And let me just say, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to each and every one of you guys. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful day. Me, it's been absolutely fantastic. I'm going to knock out this video. I'm going to go hang out with my kids. They want to watch Gremlins, so we're going to watch Gremlins. But we are out here to smoke a cigar today, okay? Now, I know there's probably a lot of Eagle fans that don't feel like smoking a cigar. They don't feel like enjoying a victory. But let me tell you, a victory in the NFL is still a victory. And the Eagles now have 11 of them, and we got to celebrate each and every one of them. Now, we got a lot to say about today, but we got to smoke a stogie nonetheless. Now, here's the thing. I want to dedicate this stogie, I'm going to say, to 3 or 4 players, specific players to the Philadelphia Eagles that I thought brought it tonight, that came to play and were really, really good, okay? And this is no order for me in a ranking, but these are the guys at the top of my head. 1, Britton Crash Test Covey. How about him looking like a perennial all-pro special teams returner? I thought he had a great game. I thought it was his best game. Great returns. I like what he did on a shank punt to be able to pick it up and run and get extra yards. Shout out to Crash Test. Then, Devonte Smith goes over 1,000 yards. I thought he was tremendous in the first half. He was open the whole game. He could have had 200 yards if they kept throwing him, but I thought Devonte Smith was really, really good. Shaq Leonard. I thought this was Shaq Leonard's best game with the Eagles. He's starting to adjust. He looks like he still can play. So I really enjoyed seeing Shaq Leonard out there. And then I'm going to also say Keely Ringo. Interception at the end of the game to win it. Now, there was really nothing there, but I still think he's better than Bradbury. I still have to start him once the season starts. So those guys are the guys I'm dedicating this. And without further ado, let's light this bad boy up, because we got a lot to talk about. 11 wins, baby. 11 wins. And we can't forget Christmas. Cowboys lose, Eagles win. Gotta love it. Tastes so good. It tastes so good when it touches your mother humpy lips. Ah, fantastic. I have not had a cigar since that Buffalo game. Since we won in overtime in Buffalo, we were 10-1. It's the last time I smoked a stogie. It feels good to be out here on Christmas, smoking a stogie, and it's great. And I seriously hope you all had a great, great holiday. I do. I really do. To me, Christmas, I look at it like this. I'm off all week. So for me, Christmas starts Christmas Eve, and it doesn't end until January 1st, New Year's Day. To me, every day is a giant holiday. It's like a week-long holiday, and that's how I approach it. What a game. There's one thing for sure. The Eagles are always going to make it really interesting at the end. You're going to have to hold your breath. I swear, I think I got like 48 new gray hairs during this game. Even my eyebrows are here starting to get gray after watching this game. It's crazy, you know. Listen, I spent my whole post-game show complaining, talking about all the things I thought the Eagles didn't do right, what was going on. If you want to see that, that's in the last video. This one, I want to talk a little bit about some of the good things. Some of the things, some of the hope I have, and some of the places where I think this team can go, okay? These cigar videos are a celebration. They're a victory celebration because every game you win, every game is hard in the NFL. And the Eagles just won 11 games. Now, there's plenty of time to criticize and all that, and we'll talk a little about some things. But, I feel like I did that in my last shakedown video, the post game, because, there's a lot of frustration for fans, for the players, for the coaches. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But tonight, the Eagles had to get a win. They're down. They had just lost 3 games in a row. The Dallas Cowboys just lost a major game last night, and you had a real opportunity to get something back, to kind of stop the bleeding. And that's what I'm hoping tonight will come out of tonight, is that the Eagles, they get a win, they kind of get that pressure off of them. Now we can regroup, and start to refocus on where we need to go for the playoffs. Remember, it's not about what you do right now. It's not about what you do these last 2 weeks. It's about what you do in the playoffs. This team has to get hot at the right time. And believe it or not, there's still time. Now, they've got some internal issues I think they got to work out. But it is what it is. And I got to tell you, oh, man, I can't believe I forgot. Oh, I can't believe I forgot DeAndre Swift. I feel like Nick Sirianni, right? Always forgetting DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift would be my number one, to be honest with you. I thought DeAndre Swift was fantastic. And why don't we just use DeAndre Swift like we did in the fourth quarter throughout the game? We win every game that way. I know maybe they're worried about him being able to stay healthy and stuff like that, but we're at the point now where we just got to take our shot and roll. We just got to roll with it. It's late in the season now. It's time to get my man DeAndre Swift the majority of the carries. And here's what I think. Hold on. Here's what I think, right? I think if you look at the way the Eagles came out, I thought they did some pretty good things early in the first half. Like, I kind of liked that they weren't trying to just push everything deep. They had no problem checking down. They checked down here. They checked down there. They didn't mind, going underneath when they had to. They didn't try to force anything deep. And I thought they moved the ball pretty good. I'd have liked to see him run the ball more. 5 carries for DeAndre Swift in the first half isn't enough. And Kenneth Gainwell didn't have a bad game, but you see the difference. You see the difference when Kenneth Gainwell is running and DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift electrifying. And the more opportunities, the more touches he gets, the more likely he is to break a big one. So that's what the Eagles need to do. What is that in the sky? Is that Santa Claus? No, it's a plate. So I wasn't totally, I didn't actually mind some of the things they did in the first half. Here's what I think went wrong. Right, at 20-3 halftime. It's not perfect, but we're on our way. We're kind of owning the Giants. It feels like this is going to be a blowout game. It feels like it's going to be a get-right game. And you come out in the second half, and Boston Scott fumbles. That was a freak thing that happened. Zacchaeus got thrown into him, and he wasn't really securing the ball in the right way, and he fumbled. And it gave the Giants life. And I feel like the Eagles panicked a little bit. I feel like they started getting tight because here we lost 3 games. All of a sudden now we're letting the Giants back in the game. They get an easy touchdown. And they started to play tight. And then you had the unfortunate circumstance where Hertz throws a pass to Goddard and he falls, he trips. That happens. That happens. But it turns into a pick 6. And I feel like the Eagles, they get tight. They got tight. A little bit of pressure. You start to see expressions on players' faces. You see the coaches arguing on the sideline a little bit. And I think, it's just one of those things where it's like every game is always something that happens that lets teams back in it and make it harder than it has to be. Now, I think we can clean it up. I think there's still time. The good news is this. You're 11-4. You're 11-4, and you have a chance to be at least the 2 seed, maybe the 1 seed. Now, I believe that the number 2 seed, in order to get it, some things have to happen, but the safest way to get it is to have Detroit lose one more game and you win out, and then you'll get it. That's the easiest way, and they're going to have a tough game versus the Cowboys, because the Cowboys are not the same team at home that they are on the road. So Cowboys will probably win. The Eagles will beat Arizona. And then all of a sudden, we go in the last week of the season having a chance to be 2 seed. You're the number 2 seed. You're going to, I'm telling you right now, this team's going to the NFC Championship game. This team will get this fixed. They will get it fixed, okay? Whatever it is. And what is the problem? That's the question. I think there's some internal stuff going on that we just don't know. Maybe it'll get leaked out in the offseason. I don't know. But hopefully it's nothing big enough that they can't fix right now headed into the playoffs. There's still time. But at the end of the day, this team needed a win. They needed to come out and respond. And what I really liked, I'll tell you the thing I thought was the most positive about this night was that when Jaylen Herz threw that pick six, what did the Eagles do? They went right down and scored. To me, that was such an important answer to the Giants, and it kind of helped settle everything down. And it really came off a 3rd and 20 play, or a 3rd and 15. It was like a 33-yard gain or something like that, where Hertz hits A.J. Brown, and it really, really set us up to kind of calm down, regather ourselves, and then win this game. And that's what we did in the end. And that's what's important. It's funny because I already see the Cowboy fan. I already see Marco's. Well, the Eagles won, but they really didn't win. They really lost. And blah, blah, blah. Always so focused on us. Hey, when the Cowboys lose, I put a video, I respond to it, and I move on. You ain't going to see 8 videos about the Cowboys tomorrow. They totally ignored, especially Mark, totally ignored the Buffalo loss and only focused on the Eagles loss. And what happened? The Miami Dolphins were overlooked, and they went right down there, and they lost. And now they got, 5 losses? And they're in trouble. They got a tough game versus Detroit. I think I'm not sure, I have to check, but if the Eagles win next week and the Cowboys lose, it may win the division for the Eagles, if that's the case. But if you want the 2nd seed, you really need Detroit. You really need Detroit to lose. So it's like next Saturday, we're streaming that Cowboys Lions game, and I'll be rooting for whatever is in the best interest of the Eagles once I see all the tiebreakers and what is exactly going on. I think I got like 3 hours sleep last night. Now I got up, made some babies. Like, baby, let's make some Christmas babies. All right, let's go. We'll call them, what will we call them? I don't know. Jolly and Noel or Jolly and Molly. I don't know. But let's do it. And we made them babies. Wow. I already know. I could tell when I slipped one past the goal. I already know. Christmas cigar. Man, this team is talented, but this team has some major flaws too. I mean, let's be honest. I think the defense is fundamentally flawed. You're going to have to repair and fix it in the off season. But there are some things you could do. One of the things I would like to see this defense do is find a way to start getting pressure on the quarterback. I don't believe they're getting home to the quarterback. They're not getting enough pressure. And then when they do get pressure, they can't contain the quarterbacks. And what happens, you see these quarterbacks getting out of trouble. It shouldn't be happening that much. They got to fix that. If that defensive line can raise its game before the playoffs, it'll go a long way. And when Slay comes back, Bradbury has to be benched. To me, I'm going Slay, and I'm going Ringo. Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked all over your grave. Fight's not with you, Holiday. I beg to differ, sir. We started a game we didn't get to finish. Play for blood, remember? Well, I was just kidding about him. I wasn't, and this time, it's legal. Okay, Lugger, let's do it. Say when. There you go, there's my tombstone. Now you've seen the whole movie. One of the greatest movies of all time. No doubt. I'm talking about Tombstone, not Wyatt Earp. I didn't like Wyatt Earp. 6 hours of shit I didn't know what the hell they're talking about. But it is what it is. So, there are good things about this win. One, you had to stop the bleeding. You had to get it. Hopefully it takes and calms some of these guys down. Because I really look at, like I said, the Boston Scott fumble and then the interception that was returned for a touchdown. I really think that the Eagles got real tight. They get a little bit nervous. It's like their hands are clamming up, the heart's racing. And you can tell, you can feel it. So hopefully this win will go a long way to alleviate that. And here's the other thing. DeAndre Swift, you got to use him. You have to use him. You have to. You got to stop taking him out in the second quarter and using him sparingly in the first quarter. He had 5 carries in the first half. 5. How can you have 5 carries in the first half? He had 17 carries, I think, in the second half. You need to do a better job with that. The fans are going, and they should be the MVP too, because the fans are the best coaches. Run the ball. Run the ball. Run the ball. And then they finally run the ball. And what happens? What happens? You guessed it. The Eagles kick the Giants' ass. And that's what they got to do, you know? Now, I had a bet with Pezzle. He's going to have to get his tutu. He's going to have to do his little ballerina moves and sing Fly Eagles Fly and give me his 300 line saying, the Eagles are better than the Giants and Dallas still stinks. 300 times. Beautiful. Some people say, give him the belt back. Send it back to him. Nah. I was thinking about doing it until he opened his mouth. Now he must pay the piper, as they say. Usually I'm out here, it's like midnight. It's like, I think it's 7:30, 8 o'clock my time, somewhere around there. So I get to actually do this early. Man, Eagles, a win is a win, man. Now, I don't blame that interception on Jaylen Herz. Originally I did, and then I saw the replay where you saw Goddard trip, so I can't blame it on him. I actually thought the pass before that to A.J. Brown was worse. That one almost got picked. But that's what I'm saying. They get tight, you know. And I don't understand that. Why did they come out in the third quarter? And it was pass. I think they threw like 7 straight passes. Like run the ball. You know what I mean? Stay balanced. I really like what they did in the first quarter. They weren't trying to push it all the time. They were taking the underneath stuff. They were settling for it. And it's good. Now, the one thing that I would say that I don't like, there's a couple things. Hertz, he has to get out of bounds before the end of the half. Like, why he cut that back, he's got to know. He's been around too long. He knows better than that. And he went like this. I think he knew it was his fault. Can't do that. That almost cost us 3 points. The second thing is this. Jaylen Herz has kind of regressed in that. If you remember a few years ago, when teams get pressure on him, he liked to bail out to his right. He bails out to his right. When he does that, most of the time, he just throws the ball away. The play is pretty much over. So now you got all these teams, and you saw the Giants blitz and blitz and blitz. And I wish the Eagles would blitz like that. But they blitz, and you're going to see next week, Jonathan Gannon, he's going to blitz. Then you're going to see the Giants in 2 more weeks. They're going to blitz. Whoever we play in the playoffs, everybody's going to start blitzing. Everybody. And they've got to start setting him up better to beat the blitz. Where's the hot route? Why not throw a screen or running back or a wheel route or something like that? Catch them when they're blitzing. You knew it was coming, but they don't do it. There are a couple times where all the routes go on the outside and there's nobody over the middle. And then when they do run the routes, they stop. They don't keep running through the route. It's like if you keep running, you're going to be open. And they just stop. And they look around at Jaylen. So they got to fix those things. They've got to fix those things. But I thought, and the most positive thing that I take is that after the pick six, the Eagles went right down and scored. Okay, now I know some people, it's the Giants, dude. The Giants stink, blah, blah, blah. You beat the Giants. Like, I don't understand how Cowboy fans are sitting there going, dude, you guys are playing. We got 2 hard games. You got only the Giants. It's not fair. It's like, dude, you already played the Giants twice. You've played everybody easy. We've had the toughest schedule in the history of the NFL. We have gone through hell in a handbag. I think we deserve to have these final 3 games be what they are after the schedule we went through. We don't have to apologize for playing anybody. All right? And a win is a win. We got to build off of it, and I think we will. And shout out to Devonte Smith. Goes over 1,000 yards. You got to love Devonte Smith. Got to love him. I think Devonte Smith could have 200 yards tonight. He's open all the time. And he's always open. They're always open. Always. Now, there's plenty to complain about. There's plenty of things that we can just go see my Shakedown podcast. We talked about all the concerns. But in this video, I got to be happy with a win. We're 11-4. We're in the playoffs. We got a chance at the 1 seed, maybe even, a great chance at the 2 seed, maybe a slight outside chance at the 1 seed, but we're in it. And we're 1 game up on Dallas, and it really forces their hand next week. Now, let me say this. Why is the number 2 seed important? I think it's important for this reason. 1, that means that as a 2 seed, you would play the worst playoff team to get in, which is going to be what? Seattle? Okay, I think you beat Seattle. And I think you have an easier time with Seattle than, let's say, the Rams. Then, let's say you win that game. Well, you probably have to play Detroit the following week. Detroit would have to come to Philly. Goff isn't good outdoors like that in cold weather in December. So that would be a huge advantage for the Eagles. You beat Detroit, you're headed to the NFC Championship game. Now, the 49ers, who would be the 1 seed, would have a bye. But most likely, well, maybe not most likely, but they would probably play Tampa Bay, or they end up playing the Dallas Cowboys. Assuming the Dallas Cowboys win, they would have to go to San Francisco, which is night-night for Dallas. So, to me, I think the 2 seed offers you a really, really easy route to the NFC Championship game. Much easier than any other seed. And here's the thing. When you get to that championship game, that's when everything has to be ready to go. That's when you can't have mistakes. That's when you have to play flawless game. And the Eagles, I believe somewhere inside, I believe they still have that. They still have the talent. People want to tell me that they're not talented, they're not good. This team was in first place for 32 weeks. Okay, they were at top of the league for 32 weeks. Started off 10-1. You don't get that on just luck. Okay, you have to be a good team. But what's plaguing the Eagles now, and what we're seeing the problems and things having, is something that's going on within the organization internally. And it manifests itself on the field. When something goes wrong or some problem, everybody starts to get frustrated. Everybody starts to sweat. People start to argue. You can see it on their faces. This is what they've got to fix, and they got to fix it quickly. And I think and hope and pray that they will. bed. I went to bed watching Christmas Story. I woke up, Christmas Story was on, and been watching it. Then I started watching football, and then I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna watch Gremlins, then I'm gonna go back to watching Christmas Story. And tomorrow we wake up, and it's Christmas Day, part 2. Eagles, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of stuff that's going to come out. A.J. Brown didn't want to talk to the media. I get it. There's a lot of issues, and there's a lot of things that we're going to cover. And when we cover them, just because we cover them, don't mean we're being negative or we're hating. We just have to cover it. You know, this is a video where we're going to celebrate a win. As bad as ugly as it was, a win is a win, and it takes us one step closer toward division. And that's what matters most. And if this team can get everything fixed and squared away, and that's what this whole thing's a race for. To me, the whole race for the Eagles and how far they're going to go and what they're going to do, it's about if they can fix whatever issues are going on. They can fix that, they got a chance. If they can't, then it's going to be really hard. And I don't know if I mentioned, but Shaq Leonard was awesome. I think Shaq Leonard was our best defensive player today. He may not be what he once was, but he was still better than what we had. And Ben Van Sumeren, he played pretty good too. So I liked what I saw from those guys, and we're going to need him next week because Jonathan Gannon's coming in. And he's going to come in. I believe that when you watch Gannon and you watch that defense, you're going to go, why didn't he do that last year? Where was that last year? You know? So it's going to be interesting. Anyways, a win is a win. We got to get ready to get in the best position to make the biggest run we can. There is no missing the playoffs for a better pick and fire everybody. We can't think like that. We're already in the playoffs. We're going to play in the playoffs no matter we want to or we don't. So we might as well go as far as we can. With that said, take care. Merry Christmas. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision. We're all just living in it, good or bad. Oh, you're still here? Oh, thank you so much for hanging out with me on Christmas. I really appreciate it, you know? I do. Merry Christmas to you guys. Yeah, come talk to me. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking right now. I was just watching Mark Holmes' videos of last night after the Cowboys lost. My gosh. Blame the referees. Blame the league. Nobody calls holds on Micah Parsons. Nobody calls holds. These people are delusional. No NFL, no referee, no owner, none of them want to screw the Dallas Cowboys. They don't, because the Dallas Cowboys are one of the biggest franchises in the NFL. They want to promote them. You realize these owners all do revenue sharing, right? The Cowboys, they're what? I don't know, but they're one of the best, most wealthiest teams in the league. You think teams want to, you think the owners and the refs, they want to hold them back? No. They get every call. They hold every play. They get every call. But when the referees miss something or don't call it, those fans lose their mind. They keep talking about the roughing the passer on Parsons, on Tua. Did you see Dak Prescott and the roughing passer they called, that lame-ass roughing passer called in the end zone? That was a bad call. There's bad calls that go both ways. But the Cowboys, they can't say, good game, good job. They can't do that. All they can say is we get screwed. Everybody's out to screw us. We're the Cowboys. We have to fight the refs. We have to fight the players. They have lost their mind. They have lost their mind. And this is why they will lose again. This is why. You know, and shout out to the Giant fans if you're still here listening. You guys played a great game. You fought. Congratulations on a tough game. I know many of you are probably glad with getting a better pick and all that kind of stuff. But it is what it is. Me, I'm going to smoke this cigar, and I'm going to laugh at the Dallas Cowboys all week. I won't be doing any videos about them, but just know inside, I'm laughing at you. With that said, Denzel Washington out.